Now let's do some real stuffs with our code. I mean, I want to change the output. I really don't like the text over here. It's too small. Let me just increase the font size of this text. So this text is actually coming from this text composable over here. And if you put your cursor over the text composable, you see that this is definitely a composable function which takes lots of parameters. See, so this composable is actually returning nothing, that means unit, and this text composable is actually taking a lots of parameters, but the first one is the required one. This is the mandatory. So whenever we use a text composable, we must have to provide a text, and the rest of the parameters have default values like the modifier, the color, the font size, the font style, and etc. and etc. So whenever we use a text composable, we must have to provide a text, the first parameter, a text that this text composable will show. So now, like I was saying, that I want to increase the font size of this text. To do that, we need to provide another argument for this text function, and I need to use this argument over here. So let's provide another argument, which is font size. So just after this text argument, I am providing or simply typing font size, and this font size argument actually takes a text unit. So I need to provide a number. So as far as I know, the default font size is 14, and now I am going to provide a new font size, which is, for example, 25, and then I need to provide a dot, and then I need to type SP. So whenever I type SP, you see that Android Studio is requesting to import this SP, this unit over here. So all you need to do is press Alt and Enter. So I'm pressing Alt and Enter, and then this unit is imported to this file. So if you go at the top of this main activity.kt file and just expand this import thing over here, you see that this new line, this Android X Compose UI unit SP is imported. So what is SP means? But by the way, if you look over here, you see our font size has been increased and our text size has been increased as well. So what is SP? So SP is basically a unit of measurement. So whenever we provide a font size, we provide SP, which means scalable pixels. So SP means scalable pixels. Okay. So SP, like I said before, is a measure of unit, and we know that our Android devices come with various sizes, resolutions, and to show the text perfectly on different Android devices based on the resolution, this SP unit actually scales the font size according or based on the resolution of the screen, so that it doesn't look so small on some big devices or too big on some small devices. So it actually automatically scales our text size based on the device resolution and size. There is another unit of measure that we use, which is DP. So there is another thing called DP, but we use this DP for dimension. For example, if we want to provide some padding or margin, or we want to show an image to set the width and height of the image like 100 by 100, then we use DP, which means density independent pixels. So this SP and DP are similar. They actually scales the size in the same way, but we for text we use SP, and for padding, for example, for width and height and other stuff, we use DP. And for text we use SP, and SP by providing these scalable pixels, it actually scales the text based on the user's font text settings. So the summary is, for font size or text size, use SP, and for other dimensions like width and height, we use DP. So now that we able to increase the font size of our text, this hello Android, let's provide some color. So this is by default black, and to provide another color, just we have to use this another argument of text composable, which is color. So after font size, so you can provide the other arguments for this text composable in any order, but remember the first argument should be the text one, and the other arguments you can actually provide in any order. Okay, so now let me provide a color, and the color would be, we can actually specify a color by using the color class and provide the color code, but the easiest way to provide a color is just type color and then provide a dot, and you see that there are lots of color that is already defined for us. For example, let's pick green. So hit enter, and after a few moments our text turned into green. So see, in this way we are actually modifying our text composable. So when we run this application, the compiler, the compose compiler, will call this function, will turn this function to a user element by taking this information, whatever information we are providing over here. So we are providing the text, we are providing the font size, we are providing the color. So this text composable function is not actually the real user interface element. We are just declaring few things. We are providing some information to the framework that how our text will look like on the screen. So the text will be this, the font size will be this, the color and the alignment, and we can provide all this stuff. So compose compiler will collect all this information and then do the real rendering thing, pixel by pixel on the screen. So this is how the declarative approach works. In earlier days, when there was no compose, we actually used to define these user interfaces in XML files. In XML files, there were text views, the image views, the linear layouts and relative layouts, and then we need to refer that those elements in the Kotlin file by calling the find view by ID methods. So there are lots of stuffs involved with that old approach, but in compose we write our logic as well as we write the user interfaces in the same file and with the same language, which is Kotlin. And this is the declarative way. We are declaring how our user interface should look like, and compose or the compiler or the framework will do the rest.